Hello, and welcome to Ms. PM Reads Christian Content, where we are continuing in the story Abscond by GG Wagner. In our last video, Lyzee has gotten hooked up online with this guy, Milo. She got busy doing other things. I think she fell asleep, and he's been texting her trying to get a hold of her, and she's not been answering. When she did answer, he's like, well, I don't want to talk to you now. And then the last thing that happened was her phone was dead, so she couldn't see what he had sent or respond. And apparently there's some threat, perhaps, that he might share an inappropriate picture of her. So, okay, we are continuing. This is it's a Christian fiction. Lyzee is going to have some up and downs. I kind of peeked through here. Tara, the pastor's wife, she's going to have some ups and downs. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. Okay, preparation. Lyzee stared out the passenger side window, allowing her forehead to rest on the cool glass while the passing scenery blurred into muted shades of green and blue. Suddenly aware of the upcoming curve, she forced her head up and her body stiffened in anticipation. She remembered that the last time she had taken this route and the full-fledged panic attack that had ensued after spotting the roadside memorial. There had been a mountain of teddy bears and colorful bouquets piled along the shoulder. Lyzee screwed her eyes into tiny slits, trying to peer into the distance, but only saw a memorial plaque. As the car moved closer, she read Rory's name in the middle of a heart, etched with wildflowers and the dashes with her date of birth along with death. Without notice, Lyzee's eyes filled with tears and her heart sank. She swallowed hard around a lump that had formed in her throat while her thoughts raced, always coming back to that horrible text message. Where are you? If only she hadn't hit send. The car jerked ever so slight, and Lyzee imagined the analyzing scrutiny of Tara's gaze. She sat up straighter, struggling to gain some semblance of composure, when a thought struck her. What if Tara wrecked? Lyzee's heart galloped. The panic seized her, and she shot Tara a sideways glance. Are you okay? Tara asked. Sure. Why wouldn't I be? Lyzee mumbled under her breath, wishing Tara would concentrate on driving and not on her. She reached for the button on the infotainment system, and the soulful voice of Lauren Daigle filled the void with familiar lyrics to calm her soul. A slight sigh escaped from Lyzee's throat, and she hoped Tara hadn't noticed. The building up ahead that she recognized so well was stacked taller than any other in the vicinity. At one time, just the sight of it would make her heart quicken in anticipation. But now the mall only reminded her of the day she lost her best friend. She had been hesitant to agree to this outing, but didn't have a reasonable excuse to get out of it. Lyzee's shoulders drooped as she got out of the car, while her eyes swept the perimeter of the parking garage. A habit of necessity, she thought, but this ritual was what had kept her two worlds from colliding. Once satisfied that her mom was not here, she fell into step with Tara. She suppressed an eye roll at the upbeat tone of Tara's small talk, while anger increasingly mounted with each lighthearted comment about fashion and smells of the mall. Milo was right. He was the only one that really understood her. Reluctant to pick out something for her birthday, Lyzee responded to most of Tara's suggestions with a shrug of her shoulders. The skylights overhead splayed light into the center courtyard, leaving the corridors bleak, which made the whole place indistinct, she thought, until the simplicity of a particular storefront display caught her attention. A single spotlight illuminated a sign that was displayed on a solid black backdrop. Tara stopped next to her and read the message aloud. Hope changes everything. She smiled. Do you want to go in here? Lyzee nodded, but scoffed inwardly. Hope doesn't change anything, she mumbled under her breath. Meandering through the store, she spotted the clearance rack. Finding her size, she began to scrutinize each item, sliding past one, then the other. The hangers skidded along the skinny chrome bar, and Lyzee judged each with the same dispassionate eye. This is pointless, she muttered. I'm going to see if they have any sales on shoes, unless you need me here. No, I'll catch up with you in a few minutes, Lyzee said, without looking up. She forced an empty smile in Tara's direction and waited until she was out of sight before slipping her vibrating phone from her pocket. Lyzee stared at the screen. Her unblinking eyes grew wide and her mouth fell open while she scrolled through at least 50 text messages. She didn't need to see the frowning red face emoji to know Milo was mad. Lyzee's fingers scrambled across the keyboard. An uncomfortable feeling that started in her stomach had settled over her heart, and she chewed on her bottom lip with her eyes laser focused on the screen. I'm sorry, but still at the mall with Tara. I'll message you as soon as I get home. Okay, but you owe me. Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted Tara across the store moving in her direction and hurriedly slid the phone back into her pocket, turning her attention back to the rack. With her heart racing, she reached out and pulled a white dress covered in a floral print and held it up in front of her, turning just in time to show Tara. That's beautiful. Those colors really bring out your eyes, Tara said. She held out a pair of pointy-toed ankle boots with at least a 3-inch chunky heel and offered them to Lyzee. I think these will match perfectly. The line was short. Apparently not too many people wanted to be stuck in the mall on such a beautiful day. The cashier was a girl from high school, and she smiled at Lyzee. Did you and your mom find what you were looking for? She asked. Lyzee could feel the heat creep into her cheeks, though it was obviously an innocent mistake. She attempted to reciprocate with a smile, but only came up with a sheepish grin. I think we found the perfect outfit, don't you, daughter? Tara asked, pulling Lyzee into a playful side hug as they exited the store. Now let's get a snack. Lyzee peered over the rail, her focus divided between the circulating belt of stairs conveying her to the top floor and her habitual routine of scouring dark corners for her mom. The effort ratcheted up her sense of dread, and she could feel the tension mounting as it manifested itself in the form of a knot at the base of her skull. With her free hand, she rubbed her neck, and her eyes fell on Tara on the step ahead. Lyzee watched how Tara's eyes shimmered and danced as she focused on the people moving on the parallel descending staircase, freely offering the strangers warm smiles. Lyzee, on the other hand, practiced avoidance at all cost. Once seated at a table in the food court, Lyzee was overcome with the contagious happiness that oozed out of Tara and opened her mouth. She had never intended on keeping Milo a secret this long. Just as she was about to speak, her phone vibrated and her courage fled. Lyzee mumbled as she jumped up. Can you watch my bag? I'll be right back. She stood in the restroom stall staring at her phone screen. A smile tugged at the corner of her mouth, responding to Milo's flirting. Beautiful. She read the word again, letting it ruminate. Lyzee had never been called that before, and she kind of liked it. Lyzee approached the table, scrutinizing a large, clear cup sitting next to a crisp white bag with a delicate pink lettering. She peered through the plastic at a mixture of ice and creamy coffee topped off with frothy foam. Say that 5 times fast. Frothy foam. Lyzee's cheeks heated as she sat down. What's this? Tara's face beamed with pride, and Lyzee had a sudden urge to avoid that contented expression. In her ploy, Lyzee slumped over her purse, searching for hand sanitizer, while Milo's words rattled around in her head. If Tara and Danny were only tolerating her because of Rory, then why would Tara take her shopping and buy her treats? Rory was gone. Lyzee could feel her heart plummet as hot tears puddled on her lower lids. Maybe if she kept her head perfectly still, they would stay put, Lyzee thought. But the wetness overflowed despite her attempt. She dabbed at her eyes and forced a smile that couldn't quite fully form. Lyzee appreciated the warmth of Tara's hands over hers. Well, we actually could go a little longer, but then that's going to mess us up for halfway. So I think we'll stop. Some of these upcoming chapters are pretty short, so we'll be able to cover the whole thing. But let's go ahead and stop here with this one for now. All right. I'm really not digging this Milo guy. I don't think it's going to a good place. All right, you guys. I hope you're enjoying the story. It's 2026, typical, unfortunately, kind of a story that we see with teenage girls. We'll see how it goes. All right. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.